Hey TechnoStuds, in this video we're going to talk about inter-VLAN routing, and we're going to talk about specifically legacy routing. So let's get into what legacy routing would look like. This is our network so far. We have our demo laptop, which is set up on VLAN 10. We have our demo Pi, which is set up on VLAN 10. And we already can ping between these devices. So we know we have VLAN connectivity throughout this network. What we can't ping right now is anything on VLAN 20. So we're just going to set up this, just pinging between VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. That's all we're going to do for this demo right here. And the way we're going to do it is we are going to set up two cables going between the switch and the router. And the first cable on the router is going to be connected into FA00, and the second one is going to be connected into 01. And then on this switch, we'll plug in the cable to FA101 on this side and FA102 on this side. And then what we'll do is we're going to assign an access port to FA101 to be in VLAN 10 and FA102 to be in VLAN 20, and there'll be an access port as well. So they will not be trunk lines. And then we just configure the router like normal. I will assign an IP address to FA00 that's in the management VLAN, VLAN 10, and FA01 is going to have a IP address of VLAN 20. Then the router is going to only get packets that are within FA101 on FA00, so it knows that it will then be able to route that to FA01, which will only be getting packets and will only be communicating to those devices that are on VLAN 20. And then we will have connectivity. So what we'll do is we'll set up a ping. So we'll ping each one of these devices and start programming them with these configurations. So we'll see how it goes. Before we get too far along, let me explain a little bit what I have set up on my screen right now. Right here, you can see the network map here. And so I'm going to be communicating from this demo laptop, pinging both the demo Pi here on VLAN 10 and the demo Pi on VLAN 20. So those are the two devices that I'm going to communicate to. In fact, I've got down here, I've got pinging demo Pi 1, which I've got communication because it's on the same VLAN. And then I'm trying to ping demo Pi 2, and it's on a different VLAN. So the request is timing out, so I don't have that. Up here, I have my notes. I've added to my notes now. I've added router 1 onto here, so that way it can show up on VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. In fact, actually at this point in time, we can remove this 10.1.0.1 because we won't be using that anymore, and just specify the different VLANs. So I've got my notes all updated, and then here I've already logged into, I've SSH'd into switch 1, 2, and 3, although switch 1 is going to be the only one that we're configuring in here. And I have a console port into our router because I don't have the router configured at this point for any kind of setup. So I've got that consoled into there. I'm using the serial connection onto that. So that's a little bit about the setup. Let's get into our configuration. Now, I said that I've got this plugged into switch FA101 is the first port. And so let's just do a show IP interface brief, one of my favorite commands there. We can see that 101 and 102 is administratively down right now. So let's take a look at the configuration of those. I'm going to do show run interface FA101 and hit enter. We can see that, yes, in fact, it is down right now. Description, null, access port, switch port, VLAN access 5, so it's part of 5. So let's go ahead and bring that up first as part of this to configure FA101 first. So I'm going to get into here. So I'll get into global configuration mode. I'm getting into interface FA101, and we're going to say description and legacy, or how about we just say VLAN 10 routing, or to router, VLAN 10 to router. And then we will do a switch port. It's already switch port mode access. So it's already in the access mode. So let's just change the VLAN to VLAN 10. And we're going to do a no shut on it, and that will bring that live. And then we're going to do this pretty much the same thing on interface FA102. And the one thing that I don't like about going straight into FA102, I'm always paranoid about am I in that interface or not, because it just doesn't actually specify the interface, but I am. It didn't give any kind of error message. So I'm going to type in here description, and we're going to call this VLAN 20 to router, and we'll do switch port access VLAN 20. We'll specify VLAN 20 and a no shut on there. And that's it. That's all the configuration I have for the switch 1. As you can see right now, I'm still not pinging. So it's not pinging my demo Pi 2, which is understandably because I haven't configured the router yet. So let's get into configuring the router next. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the router here. I need to log into it. So I'll pull up my usernames and passwords that I've created for these, or in this case, it's just the passwords to get into here. Okay, and let's take a look at our programming that we have for these right now. So show IP interface brief, and we can see 00 is administratively down, 01 is up. Okay, that makes sense. In fact, I could even check that on here. Do show run interface brief, and do show, let's do IP interface brief. How about that? And I can see that, yes, 101, which is plugged into 01 on the other side, is down, and that is because it's administratively down on the router, and the other one is up. So that makes sense. So, all right, now let's get into those interfaces. So I'm going to do a show run interface FA, how about 00? Okay, there it is. We'll program it now. So let's get into it. Interface FA00, IP address, and we'll program the address to be something that is in, this is supposed to be a VLAN 10. So we'll do the VLAN 10 network right there. And I've just got it configured so .1 is the router, and that's pretty standard. So we'll do .1, and then we got to give it a default gateway, or excuse me, a subnet mask. So we'll enter in the subnet mask in there. That is now configured. We'll do a no shut on it, and it brings it live. So at this point in time, we should be able to ping this. So let's go ahead and bring up another command prompt and ping 10.1.10.1 to see if we've got connectivity. And we do have that interface doesn't come up right away. It is plugged into a switch, and the switch does some communication to make sure it's not going to get into a routing loop. So it can take a while for that interface to connect in and set up. And so I'll continue to ping this until this comes up. But with the configuration that we've done so far, if I've done everything correctly, then we should be able to ping it. All right, all that waiting made me wonder if I did it right, but yes, it is in fact pinging now. It just took a while for STP to do its thing. So we are pinging that. We got connectivity there, but as you can see, I still don't have connectivity to that demo Pi 2. So let's configure that IP address now. So I'm going to exit out of here, interface FA01, and I'm going to set it up as an IP address 10.1.20 because it's the 20 network, and 255.255.255.0, and we'll hit enter and a no shut on there. All right, and now we have connectivity. I am pinging a resource, demo Pi 2, on a different VLAN. I have connectivity from VLAN to VLAN. So let me show you what's happening here. What's happening here is I'm on this demo laptop. That frame is being sent all the way to the router on FA00. That router is then putting it on, looks in its routing table and puts it on another cable, another interface, FA01, sends it back to the switch, and then the switch sends it to demo Pi 2. So there we have connectivity. We are now pinging the resource on VLAN 20.